What's up guys, my name is Bilal and in this tutorial I will teach you how can we set the volume of the song that we have played in the previous tutorial. So actually we will be creating a scale through which we can slide left and right and set the music volume, because in the previous tutorial the volume by default was full and when I listen it through my headphones it blows out my ears. So now in this tutorial we can set the volume so that I and you guys can also be able to listen it through the headphones. So first of all I will create a scale using the built-in class scale. So I will be creating it right here. So first of all I am going to make the instance of the scale class. So scale and put it equal to the built-in class scale. And now obviously the first parameter it needs is basically the window, and the next parameter will be, now actually we will be sliding the scale in between values from 0 to 100. So the first property that we will use is basically from, and we can put it equal to that start from 0 and then we can say 2 equal to 100. Now this means that we can slide the scale in between 0 to 100. Now our scale will be in horizontal direction, so we can say orient equal to horizontal. And now this built-in class will call a method, let's say, so we can say command and put it equal to the function that I need to call. So let's say it is equal to set volume. Next I need to pack it, so I can say scale dot pack, and now I'm going to create this function set volume. So just copy it and I'm going to make it right here. So def and then the name of the function, which is set volume, and now this set volume will take value in between this range. So we can type here value, let's say, and then we will convert that value into an integer value. So we can type volume and put it equal to int value, and what it does is that it takes this value and convert it into integer, because actually we have to specify this values as string. So now when this value get passed here, it is copied here in this variable as string. Now what we are doing here is that basically we are taking this value and converting it into integer. Simple enough. And now what I can type is mixer dot music and then the method, which is set volume, and now I will pass this parameter, this variable volume. So copy it and paste it right here, and now I think I can run it. But before running it, well, remember this, that this thing basically takes value in between range 0 and 1. So whatever value pass in between this range 0 to 100, let's say that we pass 17 here, then what it will do is that it will convert it into an integer value, and then we will divide it by 100 so that the value lies in between the range 0 and 1. So when I pass here 70, so 70 divided by 100 is equal to 0.7. So 0.7 lies in between the range 0 and 1. And now I think I can run it, but before running it, let's set the initial, or you can say the default volume, to 70. So scale dot set, and then we can type here 70. So initially it will have this value 70. So now let me explain one last time. So first of all we created a scale, then we passed here the window object, and now this scale can actually slide in between these values. So we use the property from, and remember that we have to use this underscore with this property from, because from actually is a keyword. And then so we use the property to, and now this will be an horizontal scale, and now when I slide on this scale, it will invoke this method set volume, and whatever value we have set in between 0 to 100, it will pass to this method as a parameter. Now in this function, the value is copied in this variable value as a string, then we converted this value into integer, and then we divide it by 100 so that the value lies in between the range 0 and 1. And then we call this method from the mixer class set volume so that it can set the volume accordingly. Now I can run it. So run it. So you can see that we have a scale, and now we can actually slide the scale. So but notice that the values start from 0 and ends at 100, so we can only slide in between values 0 and 100. So now let's set the volume to, let's say, 80, and now we can play the song. Now I can also set the volume to, let's say, 13, and now you can barely listen it. And when I put it to 0, you are not able to listen this song. And when I raise this volume to 100, it is now 100%. It is now 100, and now the volume is full. And now you are listening to the song. So this is how we can set the volume using this method set volume. And now we are listening to the song, and now I will keep listening to it until it ends. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, my name is Bilal, and in this tutorial what I'm going to be teaching you is that how can we add the menu bar to a music player. So actually we will be having a menu, and when the user click on this menu, he will be able to choose different options from the sub menu. So now in order to create a menu, we will use the built-in class menu, which is actually built into Tkinter. So first of all, I will create the instance of this built-in class menu. So I will name it as menu. You can name it anything you want, menu, and put it equal to a built-in class menu. And now obviously window, and now I need to configure the window as well, so I can type window.config, and then I will use the property menu and put it equal to this thing. So just copy it and paste it right here. Now that we have a menu, now we can add items. So I will use this instance menu bar, so copy it and paste it right here. And then in order to add a menu, I will type add cascade, and now the first item it will have is a file. So I will use the property label and put it equal to, let's say, file. Now I'm going to add one more item in it, so I can type menu bar dot add cascade, and then add cascade, and I can type label equal to, let's say, about us. And now I think I can run it. So yes, run it. So you can see that we now have a menu, and we have two items in here, file and about us. Now the next thing we will be doing is that when I click on this file button, we will have a sub menu, and we can choose different options from the sub menu. And similarly, when I click on this about button, I will be able to choose different options from this as well. So let's create a sub menu. So the first thing we need to do is to create the instance of the sub menu. So I can create it right here. So sub menu, and put it equal to a built-in class menu. And now since this submenu will be actually the part, or you can say the subset of this menu, so I can copy it and we'll paste it right here. Now in here I will type, because this file will contain a submenu, so I will type menu and put it equal to the submenu, because when I click on this file, it will open a new menu and we call this menu as submenu. So menu equal to submenu, and now we can add items in this submenu. So we can type submenu dot add command, and it will contain a label, and let's say the first label will be open, and the next thing is submenu dot add command, and the next label it will contain it, let's say exit. And now I think I can run it, so run it. So you can see that we have two labels, file and about, and when I click on this file, I can see two things, open and exit. And if you want not to see this thing, then what you can do is this, that in here you can type tear off and put it equal to 0. And now when I run it, now when I click on this button, you can see that we now only have two options, opens and exit. Well, what basically tear off does is that start counting the items that are added in the submenu from 0. So the first item that we have added is open, that is right here, and the next item we have added is exit, which is right here. And now when I type here 1, then what it will do is that it will start counting from 1 and then 2, and by default it will add the item that we have previously seen. So now just close it, because I'm going to create submenu for about us as well. So first of all, we need to create the instance of the submenu, so I can type submenu and put it equal to menu, then I need to pass menu bar, because this submenu will be inside this menu. And next thing we can do is that tear off and put it equal to 0. Now we can add items in it, but where is this? Before adding items, we can say well, actually just copy these two things and paste it right here, and now we can say menu equal to submenu. Well, you can name it anything you want, and now we can add items in it. So submenu dot add command, and label is just gonna be equal to, let's say, hell. And now I think we need only one item, and now when I run it, so now when I click on this about us, and it is giving me 3 options. Well, if I change it to, let's say, submenu 1 and then submenu 1, and now okay, I got it, because I need to create this submenu right here. So submenu equal to this thing, so yes, Control Z. Well, I can add it right here, and now I think it's fine. No, I need to add it right here. So now just change it back to submenu, and now when I run it, now when I click on this about us, now you can see that we only have one option, that is hell. So file contain 2 options, open and exit, and about us contain 2 options, only one options that is had. Now let me explain it to you guys one last time. First of all, we created a menu and then we created a sub menu. Well, I will come back to it later on. So first of all, we created a menu and then we add two items in it. The first item that we added is file. So to add options, we use add cascade, and then we added another options about us. Then we created two sub menu. So the first sub menu that we have created is right here, and then we have typed here sub menu because when I click on this file button, a new sub menu will appear, and now this sub menu will contain two items, that is open and exit. And now similarly, I have created another sub menu, and then I have created this item about us, and now when the user click on this about us option, he will be able to see a new menu, and in this new menu we will have only one items, that is help. So I think it's quite simple. So now at the end, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Hello guys, my name is Bilal, and in this tutorial we will learn how can we display a file dialog window. So actually, when the user click on the open option in the menu bar, a file dialog window will appear, and then through the file dialog window he can choose a file that he want to play. Now in order to display a file dialog window, we need to import it first from the Tkinter library. So I can type from Tkinter import file dialog, and now in here I can type command equal to, let's say, browse file. And now what this means is that when the user click on this file option in the menu bar, this function will get invoked. Well, we haven't created this function yet, but we will create it right now. So just copy it, and let's say that we will create it right here. So I can type def, and then the name of the function is browse file, and then this thing. Now we will be using file dialog, so that we've imported. So copy it, and now first of all create a variable file name. You can name it anything you want, and then file dialog, and this is actually that we have imported a minute ago, and then dot ask open file name. And now what it does is that it actually opens a window, and then when the user chooses a file that he want to play on his music player, the file will actually be stored in this variable file name. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make this variable global. So I can type global file name, and then this thing. Why it is giving me an error? Because I need this round bracket as well. So now when the user click on this file option, it will go to this function and will open a file dialog window, and the user can choose a file that he want to play, and when the user chooses a file, it will grab that location and place it in this variable file name. Now we need to modify the play music function, so let's remove everything from it. Now in the try catch block, I can type try mixer dot music dot load, and now instead of specifying the file name that I want to load, I will type here file name. If I'm typing it correctly, so why not copy it from here? So copy, and now I can paste it right here, and then I can say mixer dot music dot play. And now let's say that this file that we want to play is unable to load. If we have to, let's say, some wrong location, then it will execute except block. So we can say except print, let's say file not found, or we can display a message box, but first of all we need to import it. So go ahead and import it. So I can import the dot message box, and now instead of printing it, where it is right here, I can type the dot message box, and this is actually that we have imported right now. So message box dot show error, and it will actually show an error message saying that file not found. So I think everything is good. Yes. So when the user click on this file option, it will go to this function browse file, and we are actually grabbing the file name that we want to play, and then we are actually playing this file name right here. So now I think I can run it. So run, and now if I click on this button, it says file not found, and now when I click on this open option, it will display a file dialog window. Well, it will take some time because we are opening it for the first time. Well, let me close it and now run it again. And now when I click on this file option and then click open, and why it is not displaying the file dialog window. So now let's close it and see that what we have done wrong. So actually, first of all, we have created this function browse file, and we have created a global variable file name, and then we are actually grabbing that location, that file name, and storing it in this variable file name. And now when the user click on this open option, okay, actually when the user click on this open option, it should then display a file dialog window. Now run it again and hopefully it will work fine. So now when I click open, you can see that a file dialog window has appeared, and now we can choose any music file from our computer. So I have one song on my desktop that I have downloaded, and the name of this file is Love Me Like You Do, and it is an MP3 file. So now just choose that file location and click open, and now basically that file name will be copied in this variable, will be copied in a variable file name that we have created upper. And now when I click on this play button, it will play the song that we have chosen. Let's increase its volume so that you can listen it very well. We will listen it at the end of the tutorial. And now what I'm going to do is that when the user click on this exit button, we can type command, and now we can type window command equal to window which is actually the instance of our window class, and then I'm going to call a built-in method quit, or I can type destroy, not delete command, it is destroy. So now remove these brackets, and now when I run it, and now when I click on this exit button, and you can see that our window is now destroyed. So now let's run it again, but not okay. Now when the user click on this help option is sub menu, so I can type command equal to, let's say, help. Well, we haven't created this function yet, but we will create it right now. So command equal to help me, and now we will create this function, let's say right here. So def help, what I have named this function, help me. So help me, and now it takes no argument, and now basically when the user click on this help me button, we will display a message box. So tkinter dot message box dot show info, and then let's say that we will give him the info like how amazing it is. And now when I run it, and it is giving me an error, help me is not defined. Alright, so just cut it, paste it right here, and now when I run it, and now when I click on this help option, it displays well, actually it is the title that we have set in here. So just close it. So the first argument show info takes is actually the title, so we can set the title to help, and the next parameter should be the info. How can I help you? And now when I run it, and now when I click on this help option, so now you can see that the title of this window, which is basically the info window, is help, and it says how can I help you. Now click on OK. You have helped me, thank you so much. And now we will again open the file and we will listen it for some time, and then I will end this tutorial. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. So now if you want to listen, then you can listen to this song, or if you don't want to listen, you can move on to the next tutorial. So open, and now just play it. What's up guys, my name is Bilal, and in this video I will teach you how can we pause and unpause the video that we were playing in the previous tutorials. So the first thing I will be doing is that I will create a pause button, and when the user click on this pause button it will actually pause the music, and then when the user click on the play button it will start playing the music from the point, or you can say place, where it is paused. So first of all, right in here after the stop button I will type pause photo, and put it equal to a photo image class, and then the file I have in my project directory is known as pause.png. Next I will create a button and will put this image on that button. So I will name it as pause button, and will put it equal to a built-in class button, and then obviously window, and then image equal to this thing. So just copy it because I'm so lazy, and this method and this button when gets clicked will invoke a method known as pause music. Well, we will create this method in a minute once I type pause button dot back. Now I'm going to create this method pause music, so just copy it and you can create it somewhere, maybe here if you want. So def, and then the name of the method, which is pause music, and it will take no argument. Now I will simply type mixer dot music dot pause. Actually I will create a variable, a global variable, let's say paused, and then I will type paused equal to true, and you will know why I have this created, and you will come to know why I have created this variable in a minute. So now we need to make some changes in the play music method. So first of all, just cut everything from here, and now what I'm going to do is that right here I can type try, and then I have named this variable, it is paused, so just copy it and paste it right here. And this basically means whether the pause variable is initialized or not. So if it is initialized, this means that the pause button is clicked and it has start executing this method. So if the button is clicked and the paused variable is initialized as true, then it will execute simply this block, or you can or it will execute this block. And now inside this block I will have one more try block, and in here I will just load the music file. So music dot load file name. So this is actually loading the file that we have chosen from the file dialog window. And why it is giving me an error? Okay. And now I can type mixer dot music dot play. So first of all, it is checking whether the pause button is pressed or not, which means that whether the pause variable is initialized or not. If it is not initialized, which it means that the pause button is not clicked, and if it is not clicked, come in this except block and first of all load the music and then play the music, or we can say except decanter dot message box dot show error, and the first argument is the title, so it can say file error, and then it will say file not found. And now for this try, first of all it will try to execute the try block, and then it will try to execute this thing, and or we can say else it will execute this block. And in this block we will simply say mixer dot music dot unpause. So first of all, what this playing music is doing is that first of all it is checking whether the pause button is clicked or not. In other words, we can say that if the pause button is clicked, then the pause variable should be initialized, and if it is not clicked, then it means that it is not initialized, and alternatively it would mean that the pause button is not yet clicked. So if it is not yet clicked, it means that this variable will not be initialized, so it will come into the except block and will try to do this. But if it has already loaded that file, then it will come to this else block, and then will simply unpause the music from where it is paused. Simple enough. Well, I will explain it once again once I run it. So now just remove these extra spaces because it doesn't look good. Okay, now I think I can run it. Yes, I can actually run it. So now run it, and we have our music player window right on our console screen. So first of all, I will open the file that I want to play, and it is the same love me like you do .mp3 file. Now open it, and now I can play it. So see that it is playing the song, and you can also see that we have this pause button. Let's increase the volume to 100% so that you can listen it well. Okay, so now I have this button pause, and now let's say that I click on this button. Now what it will do is that it will pause the music, and now when I again click on this button, it will start the music from where it is stopped. So now let me explain it to you guys one last time, and then we will end this tutorial. So just increase the volume of the song so that I can explain and you can listen to me more than the music. Okay, so first of all, I'm creating simply a pause music function, and this method will get invoked once the pause button is clicked. So what this method is doing is that I have created a global variable paused and put it equal to true, and will have simply pause the music. And now let's say this method is executed, and now when I click on the play button option, so first of all it will check if this variable paused is initialized to true or not. And if this variable is not initialized, it means that the pause function is not yet called, so it will try to load this file, and if it is already loaded, then what it will simply do is that it will simply unpause the music if I click on the play button, because the play button will actually invoke this method, play music. Okay, now one last time. First of all, it checks whether the this variable paused is initialized or not. If it is not initialized, then it will actually try to execute this block, but if it has already loaded this file, then it will simply execute this block and will simply unpause the music. Simple enough. So this is what I want to teach you. If you have any problem, then you can email me, or you can ask it in the question answer section, or the best thing you can do is that you can join our Facebook group Khan Udemy to share your problem with other members as well. So now thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Bilal, and in this video we will create a frame inside the window, and then we will put all of our buttons and widgets inside that frame. So we will create a frame. I think we should create it right here. So first of all, I will create the instance of this frame class. So frame, and now put it equal to a built-in class frame, and this class is built into Tkinter. So we have just used from Tkinter, and now since I want this frame to appear inside the window, so I will pass the window object here. And now I need to pack this frame inside the window. So frame dot pack, and now I will give X padding of, let's say, 10 pixels and vertical padding of, let's say, 10 pixels. Now I will put this play button inside this frame. So now instead of passing this window object, we will pass the frame object, which is right here. So copy it, and now just remove it and paste it right here. And now similarly, just copy it and paste it right here, and then paste it right here as well, and then paste it right here as well. So basically this frame is inside the window object, and then all of our widgets are inside this frame. So now what I can do is that I will put everything in a pretty good manner. So for the play button, I will say side equal to left, and now this play button will appear to the left side of the screen, and then I will give it X padding of, let's say, 10 pixels, and now copy it and paste it right here, and we will give it a vertical padding to our scale of, let's say, 15 pixels. And now everything looks fine, and I hope that when I run it, it should look good. So now run it. So see that we have a frame, and then we have all of our buttons appeared in a very good manner. So now when I open a file that I want to play, so it is on my desktop, and not here, it's desktop, and then I can say where it is. There it is. So now just open it, and now I can play it. Similarly, I can stop it by clicking on the stop button. So everything is looking good now. So I think that is all for this tutorial. Is there anything I want to teach you? Well, maybe I will teach you this thing in the next tutorial when I remember. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Hello guys, my name is Bilal, and in this video, before we move on to the actual topic of this tutorial, we have made a small mistake in the previous tutorial. So let's run our previous code, and you can see that in order to see the volume, we have to slide the window to the right. So now what we are going to do is that we will place the scale right at the bottom of these three buttons. So just close it and come down. Now instead of placing the scale inside the frame, we will place it inside the window. And now when I run it, and now it's looking very fine. So you can see that we have now the scale right at the bottom of this frame, and now it is looking very nice. So now just close it. Okay, now in this tutorial I will teach you about the crate and how can we rewind our music. So first of all, let me tell you about the crate. Well, our window and frame is divided into rows and column. Now what we will do is that we will place all of our buttons and widgets in a specific row and column. So basically we will place all of our buttons in the same row but different columns, and we will achieve it using the grid method. So now let's do it. So just move up, and now instead of this back, not here, right here, we will use the grid method. And now I can say just remove it, row equal to 0, and then column equal to 0, and then I can say that give a padding of X of 10 pixels. And now this play button will appear in the 0th row and 0 column. And now similarly this stop button will appear in the 0th row but first column, and padding at X will be 10 pixels. So now the stop button will appear in the same row as the play button, but it will appear in the first column. And now similarly for the pause button, I can type row equal to 0, and then column equal to 2, and I will give it a padding of 10 pixels. And now just no need of this thing. And now what I'm thinking is that I should create one more frame. So I will name this frame as bottom frame because it will appear at the bottom, and now put it equal to a built-in class frame. And now since I want this frame to appear inside the windows, I will type window, and then I will pack this frame inside the window. So bottom frame dot pack. Now actually I will place my rewind button inside the bottom frame. So first of all I need to create the rewind button. So first of all I will just load the photo that I have placed in my project folder. So rewind photo equal to a built-in class photo image, and you have used this class a lot in the previous tutorials. And now I can say file equal to, and I name that file as rewind.png. Well, png is the extension obviously. And now I'm going to create a button, so I will name this button as rewind button. You can name it anything you want and put it equal to a built-in class button. And now basically I will place this rewind button inside this frame that I've created. So just copy it and paste it right here. And now I can say image equal to obviously rewind photo, which is basically this thing because this instance actually contains the information of this picture. So I need to pass the reference of this built-in class photo image. And now I will say rewind button dot grid, and now I will place this button in the 0th row and 0 column of this frame. So let's do it. So I can say row equal to 0, if I can type column equal to 0, and then when this button gets clicked, okay, I think it should be here. So when this button gets clicked, it should invoke a built-in method, not a built-in method, sorry. It should invoke a method, let's say rewind music. And we haven't created this function yet, so that is why it's giving me a red line under it. So now we will create it right now. So we will create it right here. So def, then the name of the function is rewind music, and it takes no argument. And now what this function will do is that it will simply call the play music function. So I can say call the play music function. So, and we have defined this function right here. So basically when the rewind button gets clicked, it will invoke this function rewind music, and this function will call basically the play music function, and the play music function will actually start the music from the beginning. Simple enough. And now what I'm going to do is that I will place the scale inside the bottom frame. So I can say bottom frame, and now I think I need to call the grid method here, and now I can say row equal to 0 and column equal to 1, because this rewind button will appear in the 0th row and 0th column of this frame that we have created right here, and the scale will appear in the 0th row but first column of this frame, which we named as bottom frame, that we have created right here. Simple enough. So what I'm actually doing is that, well, I've noticed a mistake and it should be good right here. So now everything looks fine. Okay, so now what I'm actually doing is that I have created a frame. Well, I should name this frame as probably upper frame, maybe in the next tutorial. So okay, so what I'm actually doing is that I'm creating a frame and placing all of my buttons in this frame in the same row but different columns, and then I'm creating one more frame and I name this frame as bottom frame, and I'm placing the rewind button and the scale inside this frame in the same row but different column. So now I think I can run it. So run it and see that we have a nice rewind button. So now let's play the music, and when we listen it for some time, then we will actually click on this button and click on the rewind button, and this button will actually start playing the music from the start. So now just play the music. So we need to open the file. So it is actually the music Love Me Like You Do, and it is and the singer is Ellie Goulding. So now open, now I can play it. So now we can listen it for some time and give you some enjoyment. Oops. So now just click on it and you can see that it start playing the music. So you know how can we place a button in a frame. So now that is all for this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, my name is Bilal, and in this tutorial I will teach you how can we have a status bar at the end of the window. So actually in our application, status bar will tell us whether our application is playing the music, or it has paused the music, or it has stopped playing the music. So actually it will tell us about the status of the music. So when we will do it, you will then fully understand it. So let's get started. So come down, and actually we will place the status bar right at the end of the window. So first of all, I'm going to create the instance. So I will name it as status bar. You can name it anything you want. And now we will actually be creating a label, and then we will be placing text on this label, and this text will tell us whether the music is playing, or it has stopped, or it is resumed, etc. So put it equal to a built-in class label, and now this label will be inside the window, and now the text on this label will be, let's say, keep enjoying the music. And now I can say relief equal to sunken. And now relief actually create some certain kind of effect around outside of the widget. Well, you can place some other value like flat, which means that the text will appear flat, or you can have some other value like raised, which means that the text will now be raised, but we will put it equal to sunken. And now the next property we will use is anchor, I think, and put it equal to west. Now anchor are used to define where the text should be positioned relative to a reference point. So this time it will appear to the west. Simple enough. And now we will pack this status bar. So I can type status bar dot pack, and now I can say that side equal to bottom, because the status bar will appear right at the bottom of the window. And now I can say fill equal to X, and it means that fill any spaces, fill X spaces from the left and right. So now that initially the status bar, the text on the status bar will be keep enjoying the music, but let's say when the user click on the stop button, then we can say status bar, which is actually the name of the instance that we have created right here, where it is right here. So now initially the text will be keep enjoying the music, and now when the music is stopped, we can now say that the text will be equal to music is stopped. And now I will copy it and we'll paste it right here. So now when the music is paused, what the heck is this? So copy, and now I will paste it, and now when the music is paused, I can say music is paused. And now when the music is rewinded, I can say that status bar text equal to music is rewinded. And now for the play function, I can say right here that music is playing, and now when the music is unpaused, then I can say music is unpaused, or you can say music is resumed. And now I think that is all. So we have a play function and it is saying music is playing, and when the music gets unpaused it is saying music is resumed, and then when the music is stopped it is saying music is stopped, and then when the music is paused it is saying music is paused, and when the music is rewinded it is saying music is rewinded. And I think that is all. So now I can run it. So now let's run it. So you can see that initially the text on the music is keep playing the music, and now when I click on this play button after opening the file that I want to play, so it is the same file, and now open it, and now when I click on this play button, and you can see that the music is now playing, and now when I click on this pause button it is saying that music is paused, and now when I again click on this button it is saying music is resumed. And now similarly when I click on this stop button it will say music is stopped, but before I click on this button I will click on this rewind button. If you can listen me. Okay, now when I click on this button it will say music is rewinded, and now when I click on this stop button it is saying music is stopped. So you can see that the text on this label is changing when I click on some specific button. So now just close it and let me explain it one last time before I end this tutorial. So actually we have created a status bar, and initially the text on the status bar will be keep playing the music, and we are basically creating a label and then we are placing a text on this. So initially it will have this text, and then we have packed that status bar inside the window, and the status bar will appear inside at the bottom of the window. So, and then when the user click on the stop button, then the text on the status bar will be music is stopped, and when the user click on the pause music button, then the text will be changed to music is paused, and when similarly the user click on the rewind button music, it will call this function rewind music, and the music will be rewinded. And similarly is the case with play music. So I think that is all for this tutorial. So in the next tutorial I will teach you something else. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.